A very eventful first day of training camp for the New England Patriots today. First of all, Tom Brady comes onto the field and chants of Brady, Brady. Banners being held up that said, "Free Tom Brady." Other banners that said, "Goodell hates America." And then there was the plane that flew over practice that said, "Cheaters look up." It was bought and paid for by a New York Jets fan group. Obviously, very sophomoric, but kind of funny.
Sure,
because you got to look up to see
because all the players looked up.
Cheaters look up. But you know what I can't get over? Well,
there were 10,000 people there, by the way.
Yeah,
they opened the gates and people stormed in like they were giving away television sets or something.
It was crazy. It was like Christmas at Walmart.
Yeah.
They open up the chain link fences and people are running to the blue light specials.
It looked like like they were starting the Boston Marathon.
Running of the Bulls or something.
Yeah, right.
It was nuts. Yesterday, Bill Belichick's news conference, he was his jerk-like self. You remember all the "we're on to Cincinnati" last year? This time it was, "we're just getting ready for the 2015 season." I don't just talk to Tom, I talk to all the players.
Yeah. He didn't say
I'm not going to answer that. Listen to what Robert Kraft had to say.
You said it a lot more emphatically and understandably. He went, "Training camp's going to start."
Well, I didn't see his lips move. I think there's a ventriloquist. I really do. I think he is secretly sitting on somebody's lap.
It's not a funny ventriloquist. There he is.
He is. He's a ventriloquist.
Oh, he's a
sourpuss is what he is. All right, so if you and I were sitting at that news conference and he was giving us those answers, would we put up with that? Or would we follow up?
You get up and walk out? Or you try to get something out of him? I thought
or do you
when
lash
he
out
said,
and say, "You're
I'm
a
not going
jerk"?
to take any. Here's what I thought when I heard it yesterday. I'm not going to take any Brady questions. So I would ask him about Garoppolo. That's where I'd go.
Yeah.
I go, "Well, what do you think you're going to get out of Garoppolo?" I wouldn't have mentioned Tom Brady. I wouldn't even mention that Garoppolo might start. I would have gone down that line and see where he went, and he'd go, "Oh, we're going to start training camp." Then I would ask, if it were me, then I would have asked questions about saying, "You know, you lost 4 cornerbacks. How are you going to make up for that during training camp?" I would have kept asking questions, and he would have kept giving those non-answer answers.
You know what I would have done? You know me by now. I would have kept asking Tom Brady questions,
I know,
just to piss him off.
And then he gets up and
to
leaves.
let them know that, you know what, this is not acceptable, at least not to me.
He has a right. Well, here's where I'm going to disagree with you. They have a right not to answer questions.
Of course.
I mean, if you want to be
a jerk
like him and keep doing that, now you're just bringing yourself down to the level. I've always found if people,
it would be amusing,
if people don't want to talk, if Marshawn Lynch don't want to talk, big deal. I don't need to talk to him. I don't care. I don't care. If Belichick wants to be this way, we know what he is. We can just accept that. I mean, here's something that's going to amaze you. Have you ever heard him say anything that, when he was talking, that was interesting?
Well, you know, we've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff where he does come off with a little bit of personality, a little bit of charisma, a little bit of a sense of humor.
Where?
I'd like to see
Give me an example of that.
Well, they did a behind-the-scenes deal, like hours and hours of it. What it run
sure,
on HBO or the NFL Network?
Several years ago, he was talking to the Denver media on a conference call, because the coaches have to do that.
Right.
He was eating soup and going, and he was eating soup. You found that really interesting? Oh, yeah, that's welcome.
It's better than what we saw yesterday.
Well, no, it's not.
Hey, have you ever been in a news conference?
Good. It's like the Popovich thing at the end of the third quarter. You know that that's just what it is. I mean, I just accept it. Did you really like John Fox? Told us from the beginning, told me and Mark Kisley in the hallway, I am never going to say anything in a press conference
setting. Yeah.
He said, "I'll talk to you behind the scenes," and he was right. He never said anything. But they're all
but I would go every Wednesday and I'd try and extract something. Every once in a while, we got something.
Your buddy Mike Shanahan never say anything in a press conference. I doubt Gary Kubiak will say anything.
Did you ever
Rex
want
Ryan will say, "If you want to, why don't you move to Buffalo? You can get all the stuff you want to."
No, I'll pass on that one. You and I have been to literally thousands and thousands of news conferences.
Sure.
Players, coaches, owners, general managers.
I don't call them news conferences because most of them have no news, but I'll go with that.
Have you ever just wanted to stand up and say, "Go blank yourself. You're not saying anything. We're spending our time here listening to your crap"? Did you ever want to say that to anybody?
No. You obviously have. So
no, Look, I try to maintain more professionalism than that, but I have sat there shaking my head. I have complained to a PR guy afterwards. I've never lashed out at somebody who gave non-answers.
See, again, I don't care. They have a right. You have a right in this country to speech. You have a right to not speak in this country.
Right.
And I feel the same way. I did an interview once for a magazine with a guy, and I knew he was setting me up. He was with the magazine, and he set out to do a job on me. In fact, I was told that he came to the Broncos game because he wanted to watch what I was going to eat from the buffet. And he was going to watch what I said during the game. And so I just took notes. I didn't eat the buffet because we don't have to eat the buffet. I mean, big deal. And I took
in this
notes,
country, we have a right to eat or to not eat.
And so he had nothing out of that. I mean, I sort of choreographed that where I just sat there and I wasn't loud or making smart-ass remarks. I met with him. I never cursed. I never said anything bad about anybody. And he ended up with a nothing interview because I was able to take it the way I wanted to. Well, that's what Belichick does. If I don't say anything, they can't really take it anywhere. I don't care. I mean, they're all using us. They're using us. I don't care whether a player talks to me or not. So, no, at press conferences, I just sit there and let the guys that are radio talk show hosts make asses of themselves. You know who I'm talking about.
No, I'm not. Let's not name names, okay?
I'm not naming names. I said you know who I'm talking about.
I just don't know where you're going after that. That's all.
I'm not going anywhere.
All
I'm
right.
saying I just said at a press conference and said let radio talk show hosts make an ass of themselves.
Yep. That portion of the big stuff brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports.
It always bothers you when
source.
I talk about your buddies.
Yes, for the original motor, because you get me in trouble. For the original motorcycle, Indian
you should
motorcycles.
Get rid of them as buddies.
Check out the newest line
buddies.
of Indian motorcycles at Grand Prix Motorsports on County Line and Santa Fe.
Shannon.
And there's Shannon riding her Indian motorcycle.